A lot of the players on this team are used to a lot of games where you guys win by a lot. And judging from earlier this season, it looks like projecting out this year, you're going to have a lot of games like this. Do you have to do anything as a coach to prepare your guys to be ready to be in more gut check, one-play games than they're used to?
I think more so just seizing any moment, seizing what you think might not matter, is that second and long in the middle of the second quarter that turns out to be the most important play in the game, and that's how 3rd and 13 happens, or 3rd and 16 is converted. And again, we are all in this together, coaches, first and foremost, and keeping guys pointed in the right direction is a big deal right now, absolutely.
Steve on the right. Mark, you may have addressed this earlier if I missed it, I'm sorry, but with Tony Brooks-James, just your thoughts on how he ended in his biggest feature role so far, and just what do you think on the offense without Royce? How does it change you guys?
Obviously Royce is unique, but those other guys have had very good production. There aren't too many things that we're doing differently without Royce. And Tony did a nice job. Kanai and Taj did good things at times. A couple things we want to call a redo on, but for the most part did a good job.
Austin Malawada's in the room behind the glass here. Andrew on the right.
This was by far your best third quarter of the season in terms of response out of halftime. What clicked out of? I found that really hadn't in the previous games.
Well, turnovers obviously were big, and made a couple changes on defense to try to defend some things that were hurting us in the first half, and then the offense answered with a couple touchdowns.
A couple days ago, you said that before the Nebraska game, you had a horrible Friday walkthrough. Maybe kind of going to that game, you could see something might not be right with focus. Looking back at this week of practice, was there anything you kind of look back and say, maybe we weren't quite where our heads were in the right spot, or was this stunning to you?
Today, just we had a little malaise to us, as far as the start of the game, and that's very uncharacteristic. But yeah, we had a very good week of practice. Our preparation was good, our focus was good, and then for whatever reason we let that slip at the beginning, you have to give them credit as well.
Right here in the middle.
How would you compare Dakota through 4 games compared to Vernon through 4 games healthy last year?
Totally different. I couldn't even do that right now. I apologize.
Steve on the right.
What's that gamut of emotions there when you're driving, you're down to the 7, and then when it's intercepted, it just sort of all comes to an end right there? What's that emotion like to go through?
I've never been in a train wreck, but that's probably what it would feel like. But yeah, we're, like I said earlier, I'm not sure if you were in here, we're trying to get a safe play and just get the ball out to the corner and just give it a shot. And worst case scenario, obviously, the worst case scenario obviously happened, but us in that situation is trying to take as little time as we can off the clock, and then still be able to have some run pass options coming, run or pass the ball with timeouts going forward.
Back right.
Mark, just like in last week against Nebraska, you're down by 1 score in the fourth quarter. Do you see any similarities between this game and Nebraska?
The wrong team winning at the end by 3 points. I think it's gonna be a tough, another tough pill to swallow as far as the film, and again, but as long as everybody sticks together and owns what they need to own, starting with me, we'll come out the other side.
It sucks, but just gotta eat it, learn from it. Can't let it happen again. Let's move on.
On the left, Sky.
Dakota, the offense really got going there in the third quarter. What was clicking, and how did you guys find your rhythm?
Yeah, I think just a combination. We didn't really have too many penalties. I think we maybe got one that got us behind the chains, but we were feeling good, working the tempo, executing, and just didn't execute on the last play.
Steve, right?
You said you've never been through this before. What's it going to be like for you this week, coming off, when your last throw was that and that memory's there? Can you flush it? Do you have to? What's it going to be like for you?
It's 24-hour rule. Learn from it, watch film. But by this time tomorrow, the game plan wazoo and ready.
Back right.
To fit a lot through versus Nebraska, the offense had the ball down by 3 towards the end of regulation, similar to this game. What do you think needs to improve in order to, punch it in when you're training?
Execution. Just execution. People are gonna say, yeah, it's not one play. There's a whole game, but it came down to the last play. And that's something I work with Darren all the time. So it just comes down to execution on my part.
Right here. Sky.
All week we heard you guys had a great week of practice. Coach Elford saying though before the game he felt there was a little maybe uneasiness about you guys. Did you get that sense at all before the game?
Not really. Not really, no.
Right here.
Just that last play, can you break that down a little bit? You're so good at that timing, you work with the receiver enough, you're able to just know exactly what they're doing, almost with your eyes closed, kind of. Did you just anticipate, like you said, him being able to jump that defender, out-jump him, or where was that defender in your mind when you execute that play?
In my mind, so he was pressed. So as soon as I saw that, I was gonna, just work kind of a back shoulder fade up there. Looking back on it, I gotta go watch it on film, but I think I threw too much of a back shoulder type ball. And the ball I work with Darren is, I throw it high to him, let him jump and go get it. I threw more of a kind of just true back shoulder, which down the goal line that tight, and especially with the game where it is, I gotta put the ball in a position where only the receiver can get to it. So if something were to happen, the only thing that can happen is an incompletion off that. So throwing it like I did, it's too risky. Paid for it.
All the way in the back left, Jen.
I know you've only been here a short time, but it's been a long time since Oregon's lost consecutive games in the regular season. Can you just describe the mood in the locker room?
There was a lot, the vibe in the locker room was guys rallying around each other. It was pretty cool to see some of the guys speak up like they did. I think we'll come out Monday real fired up.
Back right.
Being down by a score late in the game, is that a position that you and the offense are comfortable in, or any nerves for you, or?
No, yeah, that's something we work in practice all the time. Every day we work a clutch period, just like that scenario.
Right up here. Front right.
No, so now you move on to Washington State, pass happy team. How do you feel just going against a team like that, where a game can turn into a shootout?
That's something I'm used to. I'm used to shootouts. I didn't feel uneasy about the game at all. Felt like we had the game the whole time. We could get into a similar situation next week.